Welcome back. Oh, we
do an intro.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Anderson, and I'm a comedian in Boston.
Maz Ishmael, also a comedian in Boston.
And we both have severe mental health issues. And so we decided to be each other's therapists because actual therapy, is expensive.
And it doesn't work.
And so neither will this, but that'll be just like real therapy.
At least this will be funny.
Yeah. By the way, before you got here, we did like a quick episode, and Maz accidentally said that Eminem did a Martin Luther King Jr. diss. He said he did that MLK diss, and I was like, what? And he meant MGK.
He was like, I have a dream that MLK shuts the fuck up.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome back to Mental Break.
And I'm not going to say anything. We have to edit out this episode so to save Maz time.
Put the few moments later from SpongeBob around here to Jonathan saying
and then it cut to me.
A few moments later.
Never books women. It's crazy, right?
So now I have to edit that.
No, it's the same five guys. It's good.
We love them. We love them. They're good friends.
They never booked me.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I think they're really after men.
They're
I think
after men.
Men is the main.
It ain't called kitten, sweetheart.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, let's start again.
Commence chilling.
Because you know what I mean. Like I was like originally I'll cut that part, but then the part got so big.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay. Hello. Welcome back.
And I'm not going to say anything that we have to edit out this episode.
I hope, brother. I hope.
Okay, starting over. Commence chilling.
Hello.
Hey,
Welcome.
what's
Viv.
up?
Viv.
Thank you.
This is
Me.
Viv Martin. Say hi to your people over
Hi,
there.
people. Hello, my folks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's it going? How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Rainy day.
Rainy day. I had something unsettling happen to me recently.
Wow.
I can tell you guys
love,
about it.
Love
Yes,
a good unsettling
unsettling
story.
Coming in with
story?
material, thank you.
Okay.
I love
okay. I was doing my laundry, and the laundry in my building is like on the top floor, like the attic. And I went up there, and there was just a guy chilling there. Like, he was not doing laundry. He was just hanging out. And I was like, that's a little weird, but whatever. I live in a city. And I was like, how's it going? He was like, pretty good. How are you? And I grab my stuff, and I go back downstairs. I immediately forget that until later that night. I'm folding my laundry, and I feel what feels like a piece of paper in the gusset of my underwear. Are we familiar? They're like actually, yeah. And I'm like, what is
Gusset?
it? In the gusset
What's
of
a-
it's this.
I know this is going to derail the
There's
episode.
two layers. There's two layers in the middle of the underwear, and you theoretically could slip something in between the layers. And so I pull out what I think is a piece of paper, and it's a folded dollar bill. And I was like,
Wait,
I feel disgusting.
he
He carefully folded a dollar bill, slipped it into the
In your
gusset,
gusset?
into my gusset.
So he took your
So-
underwear out,
Yeah.
sniffed it, and then paid
you're
for the
adding-
sniff.
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope.
So you think he's paying for service?
I don't.
I mean, that's what
think,
unsettled me. I was like,
Yeah.
what did he get out of, what is this in exchange
What
for?
is? Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that you put the dollar in your gusset and forgot about
For later?
it?
Yeah, it's $1 for later.
Because think about it. How many underwears do you have? If you have $1
Yeah,
in
you're
each
like-
one.
You're like, I don't have any like pockets in this skirt, but I do have my
I'll
gusset.
just stick my hand down my skirt. Yeah.
But also, I think the gusset like opening is from the back. I'm assuming not from the front.
Well, it's not.
You gotta hit that
you
gusset from the
can't-
back.
You can't get to it from the outside.
That's what I mean.
It's
That's
in
what
the-
I mean.
I need
Do
to.
you need to see a
I need a
diagram?
diagram
You
of
need
what
a
a
diagram?
gusset is.
It's not like on the go type of thing.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
whoa, hold on.
Honestly, this is-
$2 bill. I got you, brother.
Oh
This is
my
like the
God.
G spot for me. I'm like, does it exist? I've never seen a gusset.
Also, the word is funny. I think gusset as a word is really funny. It's like the same way, like, this thing, like when people say, oh, I'm zooted out. I love that word.
Zooted out.
Zooted.
Oh,
Yeah.
zooted.
I
Yeah.
love zooted.
Yeah.
So he put a dollar bill in there.
He put it, and it was so carefully folded. That was what unsettled me the most. I was like, this was so precise and
Yeah.
crisp.
And he wanted you to find it.
Of course.
Who's
But I was
that
like,
guy?
Have you
Who's that
interacted?
mystery
just
man?
a random man. No, he doesn't live in the building. Like, I have never met him or seen him. In
He
my
just
life.
went in
He just
one
came-
mission.
Yes,
Underwear,
yeah, I
gusset.
Well, he's like,
He
maybe
got bored up there. It's like, what havoc?
he's kind of like the gusset fairy, where it's like,
Panty
Must be
snatchers
under-
are over. Gusset fairies.
You got to pay it forward, you know?
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, it's unsettling.
It was so
Oh,
unsettling.
yeah.
I
I
was
am
so
so worried for you.
You don't sound worried.
I know, but I am.
Like, you know how
That-
many dollar bills I had in my gusset lately?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It freaked me out. And now I'm like, what do I do with the dollar bill? You know, it's just sitting on my kitchen counter.
Yeah.
What do I do? With
Waiting to
it?
be spent on a good cause, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same, you know, like another thing I never understood about men underwear too. You know, like this weird pocket thing that is not a pocket but leads to your
Yeah, I
genitals.
think it's just, you can slide it out.
I don't think
You can
anyone in history
slide
of
it.
men slid it out through the pocket. You know what I mean?
I think it was originally for like pissing and such.
Yeah, but we still piss and we
And now
don't
you
do
just
that.
go through your pants. Yeah. No,
It's much
yeah.
quicker to drop your underwear than slide your stuff out. You know what I mean?
Something about sliding it out of
Sliding.
this. Something is so.
That's so wet sounding.
Yeah.
That's so wet sounding.
Oh. Wow, what a hot start.
God.
What a hot
Let's start over. Welcome back.
No.
Because Maz is gonna have to edit all this out.
No, I love that I'm gonna listen to 5 minutes of Gusset conversation. It's my favorite part about recording
You
podcasts.
learned a new word today.
Yeah, no,
Name
I
of the
think-
episode.
think
Does
everybody-
the Gusset exist?
Yeah,
The
I think-
Gusset episode.
Gusset episode.
Oh, it's so
Y'all know the
funny.
one.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, every guest we have, they have something. Like Belle had the big rack. But Ethan had like the fedora
And
you
the
know,
big rack.
and
Shit.
yeah, he had like listen. Episode is cool. Listen to it. Ethan Ken is funny. But he never got laid in high school, and we're like, "Oh, why do you think that is?" He's like, "I don't know, man. I wore fedora every day to school."
Oh my god.
And I was like, "Yeah, that might be
That
it, brother."
solves it.
Yeah. Yeah, that will get you into comedy.
That will mess you up so bad.
I don't know why I just started flashing back, but I have to tell you guys something awful that happened on stage.
oh, love that.
I was at Green Dragon, and
Great start.
I went first, and I don't love going first at Green Dragon because, well, one, it's Green Dragon. Two, it's like I'm doing some like anti-comedy stuff where you're doing like kind of bits that about stand-up. So they have, if you haven't seen like you need to, it's better if you see a couple stand-ups so you have something to compare it against. Anyway, there was like a older dude at the end of the bar who was just not really into it. And then I had noticed him, and I said something like, "Hey, I showed him my notebook, and I was like, you want to pick my next joke?" And then he was shy, and he didn't want to say anything. So I said, like, "Was that Israel-Palestine? Okay, I don't think it's a good idea, but I'll do it." And that's getting the rest of the crowd to laugh kind of at his expense. But his wife is super into it, and I do whatever an Israel-Palestine joke. It's like very simple, very stupid. And I say to the guy, like, see, I didn't think that was a good idea, but you made it go. And he interrupts me and he goes, "F- Palestine."
Oh no!
Yeah. And this was like, I was about to wrap it up and be like, "I didn't think that was a good idea, sir, but I'm Jonathan Anderson." Blah, blah.
Oh
but he
my
just interrupts to be
God.
like, "F- Palestine."
Oh
And then
my-
he was in a suit.
It's always the shy ones.
It was
So
bizarre.
the
He
worst
was like-
opinions.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, like, I don't think, like,
And his wife was just sort of like, "Gary,
You
yeah.
shy
you said
dog.
you wouldn't be racist in public tonight."
I did like a set on in Donahue's, and we're just hanging. You know, the boys hang outside, and I look at the
boys.
Donahue's stuff outside. They had a lot of flyers of the upcoming events. One of them is like, "We stand with Israel." I was
Oh,
like,
God.
"Whoa."
There's an
Yeah,
event.
yeah.
No, I think that's there's an
Oh,
stance.
okay. I was like, what would that event be? What would happen?
No, it's a Donahue stand-up show. It's
That's yeah.
We stand up. For
Like, you know how now there's a lot of
stand up for Israel.
you know, like how right now there's a lot of comedy shows like we support Kamala. Yeah, like
Oh, yeah, white
no, but
dudes
I
for
think they
Kamala.
do that every day in Donahue's. They stand with Israel every day.
Oh my
This
god.
open mic is sponsored by.
It's horrible. I mean, yeah, it was really bad, but that's crazy.
Yeah, it was one of those things where like your core temperature changes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of improv, and that was one of the few times I was like, fuck, like I was so like on my, like I didn't know what to say. So
Yeah.
I think I made fun of him a little bit, but it was just like not the right It's also I'm going first, and I'm like, I just might have ruined this
Yeah,
whole
you just-
show for everybody.
You awaken the
And
monster.
also, like, there's so many different directions, right? Like, if you want to try to dip out, you can be like, well, on that note, and then you
Yeah.
get out of there.
Yeah.
Or if you want to make fun of him, be like, wow, you're such a nice guy, huh? Like, and then you destroy him moving on.
I
Like,
think I might have said like, "You're wearing a suit."
how did it's like I love how your stance is like anyone in suit is good.
Anyone in a suit, you'd think if they care enough about what people think to dress up
Oh,
to
yeah,
go to
yeah.
Green Dragon, you're not shouting that 40,000 people dead is not enough. You know. That's
Also,
like
I don't know.
Crazy juxtaposition.
If you wear a suit and you end up in Green Dragon, something off is happening to your life.
Yeah, something went awry.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. I still haven't been there. I don't know what
You've
the
been?
vibe
No,
is.
it's a good
I love the show, but
Yeah.
it is like it's an Irish bar that like you get such a mix of tourists and like one time sometimes it's just a group of cops in the back.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so
God.
it's just like an interesting. I think it's a good place to do stand up because you're just like, I mean, if these jokes work here, they're like,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good barometer for they
It's-
could kind of work anywhere.
It's a good workout room. It's like a
Yeah.
gym. It's like a really rough.
Yeah, you have to
but
keep
like-
their attention.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
but
They're-
it is
they're
not
eating,
maybe
they're
the
drinking.
place to do an Israel-Palestine joke, and I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we stand with neither side, right? Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Right? Say that to camera.
Free Palestine.
No, we stand with Palestine, buddy.
No.
You know, it's like I'll say this, and we can get into the deep part of the episode, the questions and everything.
Mm.
I feel weird doing some of my jokes there because a lot of tourists, and I have a lot of jokes with like, oh, you guys think Boston is racist or what? And these guys, first time in Boston, I feel like, oh, okay, next joke. Oh, guns. They're American. They are used to it. And I stopped doing these jokes in Green Dragon. They do well, but like I don't want to destroy the Boston
Right.
tourism for my
Mm.
laughter, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of like one of those, if you have a joke that the point is it's purposely stupid and you're being like, you know, if you do a sexist joke, but the point is like, I'm a dummy.
Yeah, you're
and it's
naive.
dumb for thinking
Yeah.
that. It's one of those places where they might just laugh at this is like what
Oh
you're saying.
no.
You know? So it's not a great
No.
place for like anything meta.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to be thought provoking in Green Dragon. You need to get to the point. Like, you know what I mean? Don't be
Don't
a deep.
provoke their thoughts.
Fuck.
That's scary.
Yeah, don't be a deep comic in Green Dragon. Like, you need to do like, you know, low level funny. Like,
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, pee pee poo poo's gonna work.
Oh, it's gonna kill
It's
Green
gonna
Dragon. Are you
kill
kidding
pee-pee
me?
poo-poo.
They're drinking. They're happy. Like they're on vacation,
Yeah.
eating while they're watching stand up. That's perfect. I love when the
Yeah.
audience is
That's nice.
eating because they
Oh,
can't
really?
laugh. That's
That's
my
the perfect.
that's my
But then you
favorite
have a
part.
reason that you bombed.
Yeah, I'd be like,
yeah,
they
they were
all ordered
eating.
their food.
It was the shrimp. It was the
Shrimp at the Irish pub?
No. I was just
No.
doing a show yesterday in a Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
But,
See, when I heard Green Dragon, I was like, Chinese restaurant.
no, yeah,
Not an
no.
Irish pub.
We're not racist,
No, you'd
though,
be
but like,
disappointed.
yeah. Hi, welcome back to the episode where we mentally break Viv Martin, one of our
What's up?
best
Viv
friends.
Martin.
I'm a friend.
I introduced you at Show Me Your Bits last night as one of my favorite stand-ups.
Yeah.
And I
was like,
truly
"What?"
mean that.
That's so
And-
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get to our questions, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Like a year and a half, I would say.
You're
So far.
so good for a year and a half.
Thank you.
And
you.
you know, you also have this quality to you that I want you to think I'm cool. I think I've talked about this on Mental Break
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Viv's
Oh,
one of the
damn.
people that I'm like I have to. That I mean, I think that's why I put a lot of pressure on Show Me Your Bits last night mentally. I was like,
Mm. Oh, that's
Viv's you. I feel that way
flattering.
about you and probably Beanie.
Okay, yeah. No, I think you're cool.
Okay.
With the mustache,
You
you
know,
know,
we didn't
now,
even-
that
we don't-
kind of tipped me over the edge. I was like that. Yeah.
on the fence before.
We can hang out.
We don't even really need to do the rest of this podcast if you think I'm cool.
That was it. That was the only
Okay,
reason you're here
that's-
today.
I think I got all the validation I need, and I don't need comedy
for the
anymore.
month.
Yeah.
Like, I need to talk to you again next month.
Do you
No.
have someone like that where you're like,
Oh, in the comedy scene, I'm trying to think.
or just in life?
Oh, in light. Oh, I don't know. In the comedy scene, I really want Jack Hall to think I'm cool.
Yeah, I think
I
we
really
talked-
want him to think I'm a funny comic for some
Yeah.
reason. That
Yeah.
like really matters to me.
Yeah, Jack. Well, he was supposed to be on the lineup last night. So
Yes.
he couldn't do it because he's booked and busy. But
Every time he's on the lineup, something happens. For Show Me Your Bits.
yeah.
Oh, he's been on
last
it
time-
before.
Yeah, and his dad had like a heart attack.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah,
Yikes.
so-
He made some good jokes about that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because that's what we do, you know? Like somebody almost dying, you're like, you know what? It's gonna be a really good
good
bit.
material.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Really good bit.
Yeah, Jack is someone who's like he's a really good writer, so it's like I
Mhm.
want him to think I'm a good writer.
Also, I feel like you and I share this thing where like Jack is one of the people who believed in us really early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave me
Yeah,
my
yeah.
first show.
It was
But-
one of my first shows too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one like I hadn't done stand up in a long time, and I'd been doing improv and sketch, and then I went to Green Dragon, and he was there, and he complimented me, and that was enough for like all right, I'll keep going, like I'll keep
Yeah.
I'll dip my toes back in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like trust his judgment. I think he has a very good
Yeah,
sense.
He's been around also for like enough time to be like good, bad, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the cuff. But it's crazy. We know each other. I think you're one of the first people I knew when I moved here.
Yeah. We are old friends.
We're old.
do you,
Old
do you
friends.
remember when you met?
We met in comedy class. That's
Which I feel like I should say for the record, I was just taking it for fun. I was just I didn't need it. I was just taking it for fun.
I didn't need the validation.
I didn't even know that
I don't need
so
attention.
I skipped half the classes. No, Mads and I met there, and what was it? I don't know. I remember thinking, like, being really impressed by how, by the end of the class, you had improved so much. I was like, you were so actually funny.
Oh,
Like,
thank you.
yeah, no, I was like,
I remember.
When you first started, was it just like, so I want to kill myself?
So,
And then you're like,
What did you talk
insert punchline here.
You did like dick jokes. Of course. Egyptian dick jokes.
Egyptian,
one has
it
to.
has Egyptian flavor on it.
Egyptian
No, no.
flavored dick. Yeah.
Egyptian flavor.
Dude, I
Yeah.
have the recordings on my phone. I remember one of the early ones is I did 2 minutes in front of Maddie Wiener, which is a very, very
Yeah.
good comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was my first 2 minutes, and I heard Maddie Wiener laughing. I was like, I think I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I think you know what? I think I like this. And I remember Viv, like we talked. It was one of the very like in the class, first class, we had this activity. You have to talk to someone you don't know and stuff. And we talked.
Mhm.
I was talking about how fucking I don't know otters kidnap baby otters and ask for ransom. I
Yeah.
was asking about like oh
Yeah.
weird guy, right? And I think that class, John, which is another New York comic, who was like sort of teaching us, showing us around and stuff like that. I was like, oh god, I love the environment and everything. And I think Viv skipped a class one time,
Mhm.
and they came back, and they were like, dude, you got funnier.
Yeah. No, you did.
Like you said it
I
out
was
loud. And I was like,
shocked.
whoa.
You got like
how bad was
way
it?
fun. No, I mean, like any comic starting comedy is like you don't know what a joke is
It's
at
pretty
first.
rough.
Yeah.
You know, but you like actually were funny.
It was
by the
like
end,
1
actually.
week. I got into my thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
No, but it's crazy. Like, and then we became really good friends since then, and we've been
Yeah.
like on the grind. Also, the grind of early comedy is such a trauma bonding
It's such
activity
a bonding experience.
because like
Yeah.
we're all coming up together. I think you two like in the same cohort of like we're all coming up together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
just
it-
rough.
There's so much
many-
anxiety,
Yeah.
jealousy. I used to get so jealous when I would
Yeah.
see people like posting their shows. You know, like,
Competition
I
is
wish I
like
could be on that
Yeah,
show.
yeah. And then you just that's the thing too about like if I skip an open mic because I'm like I need to rest because I've done like 13 shows in a row or something.
Yeah.
And then it's just the barrage of everyone like all my Instagram
I
stories
know.
are
I
everyone
know.
doing stand up and
Yeah.
it makes me it's like I can't relax because then I'm like oh I should have
No.
got out there.
No,
I'm
that's
never
good.
skipping again.
That's good. That's good when you have that barrage because it keeps you going. Like it's sort of one more reminder of like you can't stop right now. You know what I mean? It's a lot of pressure, but I think that's the only way to go.
Yeah, I also should probably just be like, well, that's them on their journey tonight, and
That's them
mine
on their
is
journey.
mine is watching Veep.
Exactly.
Tonight, you know?
Exactly.
Okay, so explain the segment to the people. What's gonna happen right now? We're gonna try to explore a very personal side of Viv Martin, the person, not the comic. These can be very two different people usually,
Yeah,
especially in
that's true.
comedy.
That's true.
So the way it's gonna work, we're gonna ask Viv 3 deep, thoughtful questions and
A random XXX card.
Oh,
Which I
not
don't
even
know.
double X.
No, well, I'll give you the option.
Okay,
I have a
okay.
double X and a triple X here.
Got it.
Some of the questions are wild.
yeah. So
Oh, no.
let's start. We'll get going. Deep question number 1. By the way, the questions are gonna escalate in difficulty. So
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
this is the warm up question, sort of get you into
Oh, do
it.
we get them a prize?
Wait, is there a prize?
We were supposed to. We forgot.
The prize is
one
being
day-
here.
one
You want
day.
this can? Will you point at anything in the apartment?
Oh,
Whoa.
yes! Yes!
buddy.
Big TV, big
Is
TV.
this a real art piece?
I
how
hope.
much you say this is valued at?
I hope. Okay, question number 1.
Yeah.
Viv.
Yeah.
Growing up, what was something that you really wanted to do in life, and have you got the chance to do it or not, and how did that turn out?
I feel like when I was really young, I had these very vague ideas of like being a writer, like just a writer and living in New York City. And that I kind of had this idea in my head that I would move to New York or like some big city because I grew up in Indiana, super small town, like very rural. I felt like there were no possibilities for me. And like every other angsty Midwest teen, I was like, I got to get out of this place. The only thing limiting me is Indiana, the state, not my own abilities. But then in high school, I like applied to a couple colleges in New York City. And one of my like high school friends was like, I just can't see you in New York. And I was like, oh my God.
Whoa, that's a crazy
That's
thing.
a
Yeah.
hater. That's fuck that person. Are you still friends with them?
No, not really. I mean, we're not enemies, but you know what? She
Yeah.
did end up in New York. She is in New
Wow.
York still. I know. But anyway, no, I feel like I now like write in a lot of different ways. Like I don't think I'll ever be able to just write as my career, but like I do academic writing and I write like essays and reviews and I write for stand up.
But when you were young, you wanted to write like TV or
Probably like novels.
Yeah.
Yeah, the books.
But you don't
generally.
think you'll do that?
I'm actually not a good fiction writer. Like I don't have that talent. I find it so hard
Actually,
to write
you
fiction.
can't cut it in New York
I
City.
actually, yeah.
She nailed me.
Yeah, no. Mary, if you're watching this.
Send that clip.
You're right.
Clip it,
Sometimes-
send it to Mary.
Sometimes haters are right, you know?
No, yeah, no, it's true. And then, like Boston is just as good, in my opinion.
Did it
So.
turn out like the writing you do right now? Did it turn out to be everything you thought it was going to be?
Oh, no, way harder. It's like so, I thought writing was like glamorous and validating, you know, like I'm an intellectual developing nice ideas. And now I'm like, it's so embarrassing and so like hard and unglamorous. It's
Oh,
just sort of
yeah.
like I literally have to sit down and write for 15 minutes a day and be like, you can do this. Just write for 15 minutes, and then when your little timer goes off, you can stop. I have to treat myself like a baby to
Yeah.
get myself to write. It's crazy, but like some days you do feel like a genius, and that is
Yeah.
it worth it?
Yeah, sometimes it also is vulnerable because I'll write a script that I'm like, I fucking nailed it. And then
Yeah.
you hand it off to someone and they're like, I just don't get this thing. And as soon as you get that like head turn, you're like, well, fuck this.
It's
It's like
all
comedy.
over.
You'd be like in your head. You'd be like, that's such a genius
Oh,
joke.
Rush.
Yes.
And
I was talking to Jason. We did the pint together Wednesday. You know, we hung out, we got food and stuff. I was talking to him about some of my jokes. I'm like, dude, I'm really pissed off because some of the jokes I feel like are structurally very sound,
Mm.
but they're not as funny as the really dumb in your face jokes.
Mm.
Like I would do a joke that is like again thought provoking, like you know, like deep, like comparison, parallel, like 2 levels in. But then I would say something like, "Oh, she told me she never had a boyfriend," and I was like, "Oh, me neither," and it would get laughs, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this
Yeah.
is horrible."
It is hard.
But,
It's like I'm so bad at predicting what is gonna land and what's not. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Apparently, from what I heard, like when we get to be like 5, 6, 7 years in, we can tell in our heads immediately if that's going to be funny or not, and it gets
Whoa.
easier.
Wow.
So comedy is one of those things. Like it's like a gym in a way, but like
Mm.
the more it gets, it's like a job. I'd say less than a gym, but more than a job. When you're just graduated, it's really hard to get a job,
Mm.
but it's really hard to break in. But once you got multiple jobs and experience, it rolls. It's like a snowball.
Yeah, I think the goal is to get like a computer where you just get a premise, and I mean that is kind of like in a perfect world, AI would be nice to like just have an idea for what the book should be, and then just hand it off, and like and then I'll just edit your work to the computer. That would be nice, but it takes all the je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, exactly. The toiling.
Yeah, it's miserable. Writing's miserable. But that's what I just thought like you wanted to live the premise of Girls.
I guess so. I guess
Yeah.
I have only seen like the pilot episode of Girls. But yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. There was a guy who looked so much like Christopher Abbott at our show last night. Do you know who Christopher Abbott is?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Matt,
He
I
was
know this
cute.
is a lot of editing.
It's okay.
But put a picture of Christopher Abbott is, and then if we could, and then I'll send you a picture of that person in the crowd, and then let's just play an episode of Girls so people get
Oh,
the
Okay,
reference.
yeah, that's a lot.
That's all you need to know about me, and
Come
that's
on.
and that's it. And that's
So what's
it.
your question?
My question is, what is an issue that you had that you think you've worked through?
With my comedy or with my life?
Life.
Oh,
Or comedy.
Hmm.
You're like, I used to struggle with this, but I kind
Yeah.
of figured it out.
I think I used to be pretty socially anxious, to be honest,
Mm.
and now I'm like, I don't care. I don't know. It's one of those things where like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Like, and I had this roommate. He's the best roommate I've ever had for the past 2 years, and he was super socially anxious. And I remember trying to help him be like, people want to like you. Like, they want the conversation to go well. Like, they're not thinking about it. I don't know. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where like, until you demonstrate that to yourself by like having a lot of conversations go right, you can't feel it. But yeah, I feel like in high school I was like super insecure and didn't feel like just talking was hard for me, and now I feel like I love to talk and
Yeah.
would stand up.
I had that too. I was like very socially. I thought everyone was analyzing everything I did.
Yeah.
And being so judgmental, and then
No.
you just kind of like no one really thinks about
No.
other people that long.
Nobody knows you're alive.
Yeah.
Nobody,
no one
yeah.
cares.
That, oh my God, I started teaching this semester and my students really do not see me as a whole person. And that was very clarifying. I was like, yeah, honestly, I'm just a
Just a side
brain.
character,
This is a
you
side
know?
character.
I love how you get from I'm socially anxious, I'm really shy, I don't want to talk to people,
Mm.
to talking to people and them going ha 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 ha. That's very very different
Yeah.
stage
Yeah.
of talking. That's crazy.
I think when you're younger too, you're like you assume if someone doesn't like you that they're right,
Yeah.
and when you're older, you're like that's something wrong with them. Like,
yeah.
it becomes like an
I'm a
inner
fun
voice
time.
too. Like even if they say, if somebody, I feel like especially when you're young, if somebody says something mean on the outside, and you hyperfixate on it for long enough, it becomes your inner belief and inner voice. Even when they
Mm.
stop saying it, you're
Totally.
still thinking and saying this to yourself.
yeah,
Totally.
And
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
yeah.
Speaking of pretty bad, third question.
Your stand up. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Oh,
So it was all live last night, huh?
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
That was crazy, unwarranted attack on our guest by one of,
out,
by
man.
one of the
Edit that
hosts.
I just saw like you know how like you have that impulse. Like, there's clearly a burn here, but
It's like it was
I'll
like
work
it was a
harder.
scratching thought. I couldn't
It's
shake it off. It's like I had to do it.
no. Fuck you. No, edit that.
Thank
out.
you.
Yeah. Okay. So
What was the question?
third question. When was the last time you were really, really hurt by someone that
Oh.
made you really be like, oh, that was not cool at all?
I guess I've had a string of unfortunate situationships this year. Like I had a breakup in December and have been dating a little bit since then. And there were just a couple people who I felt like when I was like cool and chill and it was casual, they were down. And then as soon as I was like, I want something more, or I'm like human and I have certain needs, like communication wise, they were kind of like, okay, goodbye. You know, like it was kind of over at that point. And that was just, I don't know. I remember, yeah, this happened recently with like a guy I've been seeing, and he was like, I miss when things were like mellow and chill between us. And I was like, I'm not mellow or chill. Like that's just fundamentally not who I am. But that kind of thing hurts because sometimes I do wish I could just like, I don't know, be a little more relaxed.
Turn
with
off
it.
the switch.
Yeah, turn
Yeah,
off my
but-
needs.
Yeah.
I wish I could be less human. But
But you think fundamentally you're a relationship person,
that's a good question. Yeah, I think so. I really like
Yeah.
that dynamic. Yeah.
right? Because like you could, like, the part of your brain that like could stop at chill and mellow. You're like, no, that part needs more.
Or like it's like I'm chill and mellow if I don't like the person back. To be
Right,
honest,
right.
like that's when I'm
That's
chill.
when
Well, that's
They-
why it's low stakes. You're just like,
Yeah.
well, I don't have to think about where this is going because I know it's not going anywhere.
And then you
No,
do that,
exactly.
and then now they're obsessed.
And then they're like, I
Yeah.
love you. Yeah.
That's
Shits
how
in
it
the
works.
night.
That's how it
no,
works.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll-
But no, I was like, I feel like this is fundamentally like I had to look at myself and be like, you know what? I'm not going to be chill and mellow, and that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to let those people fall by the wayside because like we're not a fit. Like,
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
not chill.
And that really like got your feelings. You were like, oh, I
It
wish
hurt
you
me.
liked me. The way
Yeah,
I am.
especially when they're like, but I still want to have sex. You know?
Be like,
I-
who doesn't,
yeah.
buddy?
Yeah. No, I'm like, you're not special. Like, I could call up 20 different people right now. You know, like. I don't know. I thought you liked my brain.
Yeah.
So.
That's it's always like, oh, like I like you a lot, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, I actually want to be in a long-term committed relationship. And be like, well, just you and 25 other people. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like, yes, that is
No.
crazy. But I'm glad you got into like, oh, I actually deserve
Yeah.
better than that.
What's your
That's
usual
clarifying.
type?
Okay, and guys, I'm already making a gesture. Tall,
They're
skinny.
gonna be thin.
Not wider than this. Like
No,
their
no.
waist.
Probably like this is like a 36, 24, 36.
I like an elf on a show.
I do like, kind of sprightly man. Like a tall, skinny man. Like
Yeah.
I love a musician, unfortunately.
Oh,
I love
right.
a musician. And
That's
then
your problem.
That's the entire commitment.
They're
to you.
They
always
just want
skinny.
to fuck. That's
I've
crazy.
never seen like a very big musician.
No, they're always skinny.
There's
They just
always
they
skinny.
smoke
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Especially- Especially-
unless you were into country music.
I was
Then
gonna
you'd get
say
some big
jelly,
boys.
jelly roll, but like
Yeah.
unless they're always unsuccessful and skinny. Once they get successful,
Whoa.
they
Once
lose
they can
the.
feed themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with femmes, I like a short, dominant, fairy-like person.
Short, dominant, fairy like person.
This is an alpha fairy. Yeah.
So they can be either tall and like skinny,
Yeah.
failing as a musician,
Yeah.
or short, dominant, and want to destroy people in their
Yeah.
way.
Well, not destroy people, but they they take over a room. I like,
Yeah.
Wow, they're
Yeah.
that big? Okay, cool.
I'm trying to think who fits that description. in
Yeah, I
Boston
mean, if you want
comedy.
to set me up.
Yeah.
Oh, in Boston
I
comedy,
don't
we
think-
should
I
not be
don't
setting
think
me up
so.
with a comic.
I don't think anyone in the comedy scene fits that.
Short and dominant.
Let's start at short. The list is really small there.
Yeah, I might fit more of your feminine description.
Yeah, honestly. Take the mustache back off.
Yeah, all right,
Actually.
this is fair.
You're like, oh, the femme. Viv Martin likes femme. Goes to the bathroom, shaves. Not a single hair. Becomes a bar soap looking man.
A flower. in my ear
Yes.
for
Oh
fun.
my god.
Oh, it's so funny.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out my sexuality still, but one of the hints for me was like I had a couple boyfriends and I would always be like, "Do you want to wear my clothes?" And like, "Can we put a little makeup on you?" And I was like, maybe that's not great.
I
No,
love
I
it.
think
Yeah.
that's good. I mean,
It was fun.
It means, yeah. I think that's a certain, because I guess how would you describe? What's the label you put on your sexuality? Do you go by bisexual, pansexual?
Queer, I would say.
Okay.
Queer, yeah. Which is like umbrella. But
Yeah.
It's a vague term, but also I want
Yeah.
to say something while we're describing the perfect person.
person.
Can you describe how you like them to dress? Because you have a really specific, like,
Oh, like my joke.
yeah, you have a really
Okay.
specific.
I like guys who dress like a Buffalo Exchange exploded, and they were born out of the wreckage like a thrifty phoenix. That's what I really like.
I love that.
A lot of layers.
Yeah, they're all always look again. All musicians look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's annoying. I glamorize musicians a lot. I think I romanticize them a lot.
Because we're both suffering, or is there a good
Yeah.
reason?
I'm like, they do what I do, but like prettier.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, that is a thing that people think, like, comedians actually want to be musicians and sometimes vice
Oh.
versa.
Okay.
I also want to
Yeah.
say it's again.
How much easier would it be to just, I think it would be a lot easier to do
Sing
music.
a little song.
It's a hot take, but
Mm.
I think it's harder to be a struggling musician than a struggling comic.
Really?
I think so.
Because there
so-
aren't as many venues for it.
Also, there is way more musicians that are trying
Oh.
to be musicians versus comics.
I guess
who are
that's a
trying
good
to be
point.
comics.
I guess, but at least like with music, you can just like upload as much as you want. Like
Mm.
I can't just like here I can't be like, okay, go to my Spotify, here's my 30 minutes, and then see if people
Yeah,
like it. I mean, you
that's
can
true.
do that, but you have to like that takes years.
Yeah.
Music is just like you.
Yeah, it's the
Fart it
practice
out.
too. Like for you to practice music, you can just be in your room. Like I agree with
Yes.
that point, but
Oh my
yeah.
God.
in comedy, I need to be on the stage with
Yeah.
lights
At
and
specific
people.
hours, you know, it's like from
Yeah.
8 to 10 p.m. I can practice.
Yeah, my
Like-
sleep is suffering because I do this. Like,
Yeah, think about it. We are practicing our craft 5 minutes at a time. Like,
That is crazy.
You know, 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like in the week, we like if we're grinding, we put what 50 minutes,
Yeah.
60 minutes in a week.
Also, like if music, like comedy, you have to be getting a result. You
Yeah.
have to have a laugh back. Music, you can just play, and if they're silent, then that can be a good
That's
set.
great.
You
Yeah.
can
That's
be
the
like,
best
yeah.
outcome.
That's
Yeah, and
true.
even if you just upload your music and like people are like, "This is a little weird," you could be like, "Well, I'm artsy." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I uploaded my comedy and there's just long points of like no laughter, and people are like, oh, "That was weird that he said that,"
Yeah.
I can't be like, "Oh, I'm just different," you know?
Yeah.
No, because it's like you're performing your personality in a way.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
yeah.
I like him. I like
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
So if
much
they
less
hate
music.
you, like they hate it's not like they hate
Yeah,
Jonathan's
so
comedy.
personal.
Yeah,
they hate
they hate
Jonathan.
Yeah, it's like because like no one says like, "Oh, I just don't really like that genre of comedian." Usually,
Yeah.
No, you're right.
So like
Yeah.
you could get away with it.
Let's
At
see
least your music.
what bonus do we have.
Oh,
Here,
I'm so
Do you,
scared.
do you want triple X or double X?
Oh my God. I mean, I'm so afraid my students are going to watch this. So let's start with double.
Okay, let's start with the double. What?
Maybe the doubles are actually usually worse. But
Oh, really?
Go ahead.
I think this one's fine. What do you want to know about your partner's sexual past, if anything?
Ooh,
Oh.
that's a great question.
What do I want to know? I mean, I just want to know what they like what they've liked in the past. That's what's most important. Like the thing that really grinds my gears is when someone's like, I don't know, or like, I like this right now. I'm like, fuck you. Like
Yeah.
give me more, give me fantasies, give me ideas. Like, I don't
Interesting.
know.
Do you like okay? And I don't. I'm just trying not to project that, but for me, for example, I'm like, I want to know what they hate more than they like. That's way riskier,
Yeah.
like to hit into that zone
Yeah.
accidentally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If something's not working for you, let me know.
I mean,
You
I
know?
think before I try anything out of the box, I'm like, how would you feel about it? You know, like it's not just
Yeah.
like I'm like,
I like how you were keeping it vague and then apparently choking.
It's very descriptive. I was like, how about that?
How do you feel about being choked out? Not to
Oh my
random
God.
example.
oh my God.
Yeah. So you want them? You want to know like what their biggest fantasies are.
Yeah. Yeah. And if there's anything they've been wanting to do and haven't been able to yet, like I want that.
I think what this card is also kind of getting at is like, do you want to know their body count or whatever?
oh.
And I think that's like kind of a red flag if you want to know.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
don't know.
you know, again, that's one of those things where again, 10, 15 years ago, I think it was like really a thing like I want to know. Like everybody is
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to know, right?
Mm.
Now it's really weird if you be like, what is your
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty
It's just a random number. Like, also, I feel like someone can like technically have a lot of experience and not have learned anything from it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's not like it's even
especially
a
like
great predictor.
good-looking guys.
Oh my God.
They don't have to get better a lot of the time. Like if they're just
Yeah.
good
They'll keep
looking
getting
and
chances.
tall, they don't have to just like
If they're just skinny and
Yeah.
a musician, in a lot of layers.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't even
Oh.
have to know what a gusset is.
He
Yeah.
only has to know 3 chords. He doesn't have to know what a gusset was. You know what?
That was
You had to
pretty
be there. It was so good. We all
We have to
laughed
cut it
and
off.
We all
laughed.
hugged after because we
loved-
couldn't stop
yeah.
laughing.
Yeah, we Googled the diagram of a gusset on a TV here, and we
On
just
the
talked about it for a while. That's something we
Yeah.
can do. By the way, if we ever want to broadcast something and we want to look at it on
Put it on
TV,
the
we
TV.
can't do that.
Oh, we can live
We-
react
We can.
to gussets.
You can do Jamie. Pull that up.
Yeah,
We need a Jamie.
like I can be the Jamie of it, but it's really hard to be a Jamie and on the pod at the same time. It's
Yeah. What were we talking about? We were like, your
sexual
type.
fantasies.
Yeah, body
Oh
count.
yeah.
Body count is pretty weird to ask.
Yeah,
about.
knowing someone's. I think I think I would only want to know someone's body count if it was like really low or insanely high,
What is
Mm.
insanely high?
like 400,
Oh.
like something like where I'm
Yeah.
like now because
That'd
I
be
know that I know you might have like an addiction or you might have
Oh,
some
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like or just a rough go of things.
Oh, you were just
Yeah.
hot. Like,
Yeah.
400.
Yeah. I
400,
mean,
yeah, 400 is a problem, I would say.
That would take years.
No,
Maybe.
no.
Yeah.
I don't think 400 would take years.
You don't think it would take years?
I'm going off of like Love Island USA.
Do they
and-
tell you their body count on Love Island?
Yeah, they could be lying, but
Oh.
they,
What were
it's
they
like you have,
saying?
people have to guess people's like over unders on.
Oh,
So
interesting.
what were the
So, some people were like 200, some people were like
Damn.
20, some people
Okay.
were like 10.
I
It
highly-
varied, but
Okay.
I feel like those are models though. So
Dude, how do you keep track of 200? Like, how do you know it's 200? Or you
That's
have
good.
a note.
Yeah.
You'll be
Probably
like every
balls.
time you hook up with someone, you'll be like,
That would be crazy.
yeah,
3 stars.
every time
4
I
stars.
put $1 in their gusset.
Oh my no!
It's like, how many dollars are you under, buddy? You might have an addiction. Are you
Oh my
gambling? And be like,
God.
no, just only $1 a time.
One time a guy asked me, like the next morning, and I was like, "How dare you?"
Ask you for
Yeah,
what?
it is
My
wild.
body count. I was
Oh,
like, "Why?" do you
Okay,
Yeah,
care?"
because it's also weird to ask right after you slept together because it's like, what do you think I'm inexperienced or too experienced?
Too experienced.
because
Yeah,
also
what
when you
is
say
that?
when we say the word gusset, and then the next thing you say, and one guy asked me one time, I was like, he will ask you to put $1 in the gusset of the
Yeah,
underwear.
Yep.
That
Yep,
is
that
very
was
consensual.
his-
Good for
yeah,
him.
It
you
was
know?
sort of a Finn DeHaan situation in reverse. It's kinda like,
You know, I
I'm the bank in a
I
way.
hope somebody has a Google alert on the word gusset because they're going to huge spike and then back to never years of not.
It's just a technical term. I don't know what to
It's
say.
one of those words you will never hear unless you're a PhD in English. You know what I mean?
I emailed my landlord because I was like, I'm worried about security, and I did use the word gusset in email.
Your landlord was like,
And your Boston landlord was like, what
I was like, what is that? I don't see the problem.
the fuck?
English is definitely his second language, so he was like,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Gusset means male donkey where I'm from. What
Male
is that? Are
donkey.
we done? Do we have any?
Mm.
I think that's most likely
Should
it.
I ask you the triple X?
Oh yeah, you asked
Okay.
us the triple X.
All
I
right.
don't remember what it is.
That'd be fun.
All right. What insecurity holds you back the most in bed? I love
Oh.
this question.
Wow.
All right, this is gonna be a long episode.
This question.
Yeah, we need to answer this question quick.
What insecurity?
And don't say
I
my
think-
penis because that's
Yeah.
not a.
Maz's penis is my insecurity.
Oh yeah. It's
No,
just
okay.
sort of
Um,
intrusive thought.
I think this is like so basic, but just trying to last longer is like what I'm
Okay.
thinking about
Got
a
it.
lot of the time is like
Literally
don't
holding
come
you
right now,
back.
don't come right now, don't come right now.
Literally
Do
holding
you know
back,
that
yeah.
some guys to not like come quick, they would think of like horrible things. They would think of like nuclear explosions. They would think of their grandmothers.
Nuclear
They-
explosions are still
hot.
metaphoric. No, I mean I don't know. It's an explode. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
You
they
know?
would just think of like people dying.
Okay.
You know, like
Well,
vivid
that's what makes
images.
me come. Subscribe, smash that subscribe.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. What insecurity? I mean, there's just kind of so many.
Mm,
But I think once you're like in a relationship for a while, that goes away. But like if you're,
yeah.
I mean, I so like just let. I kind of am like reading the girls' vibe of
Mhm.
like, I think the first 8 times I hook up with a girl, there's no chance she knows what I'm into because I'm just like
Damn.
whatever you want to do.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, maybe I don't know. What about you?
It's so bad, like because I'm always like trying to make sure the other person is having a good time, but I think that's also coming from a place of like, oh, I hope they don't hate me and just hate that we had sex and just never talk to me ever again.
That sounds
That's
perfect. That is so many insecurities converging into one.
Never leave me, never leave me.
But then what happens is
Yeah.
when you have that is like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That
That's
it's gonna
what
go
happens,
badly.
right?
Yeah.
Like it goes okay, like for some reason or another, and in my head I'd be like, oh, that must have been why.
Mhm.
But then when you don't care about the person, you'd be like, I don't care how this is going, right? Like I'm just having
Sure.
a good time. I hope you're having a good time too.
Uh-huh.
Then it goes great because you don't give a fuck
Mm.
really. So it's like that's why it resonated a lot when you were talking about like the relationship thingy. It'd be like the
Mhm.
more you put into it, like the worse it is in a way. I feel the same way in bed.
Mm. Which means we're not hanging out with the right people.
Yeah.
Right? Like that. Ideally, that would not be how
Ideally,
it
with the
normally
right
is.
person, you wouldn't be really thinking much and be just being in the moment and enjoying their
Mm-hmm.
company. I'm assuming. I hope.
Mhm.
I hope that's what at the end of the tunnel. Like I really hope.
I think dirty talk can be a risky
Take
thing
you out
too.
of.
Oh no, I like it
mm.
can be like because I mean I'm into it, but
Mhm.
I think about what I'm gonna say about, and I say it in my head like 5 times
I love
before it comes out, because I'm like if you stutter on dirty talk, it's so just you like that?
You know what the worst is? When one person says it, but too quietly, the other one has to be like,
What's up?
What?
What's up?
What was that?
What's going on back there?
Yeah. What's the most
What was that?
unattractive thing in a bedroom? Saying what?
Yeah.
Saying what? What
Yeah.
was that? I'm like, I don't think the details are really important right now on what I said. It was heinous.
Yeah, because then like having to repeat what you said makes
Yes.
it sound crazy.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
that was awesome. That was such a good
Thank you
time.
guys for
Yeah.
having
Talk
me.
talk to your people, promote yourself, say what's coming up, social media, tell them to follow you, tell them
Okay.
that you love them.
I love you. Please don't leave me. I'm at Viv Martin Comedy on Instagram, and I co-produce Men in Comedy, which is maybe you can do a Men in Comedy, which is an all-femme and non-binary comedy show. We do shows all around Boston. Our next show is going to be October 30th at Widowmaker Brewing in Brighton. It's going to be a Halloween show.
Ooh.
Definitely come to that. And tell me I belong in New York City. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
read their novel coming out
Read
soon.
my novel coming out soon. Yes.
Well,
What do we have to? October 18th is the next Show Me Your Bits, and apparently you can read about me and Show Me Your Bits on CambridgeDay.com.
Wow.
So
where do they
Pretty big
where
stuff
can
on
they find you on Instagram?
at Jonathan.R.Anderson. By the way, this we'll discuss this with future guests. I have to shorten my name, I think.
Oh.
Because Jonathan Anderson, it's so many
Yeah.
syllables for a basic name, so they're not going to
Yeah.
remember it.
I like the symmetry of it, but how do you feel about John Anderson? Is that still too simple?
I think it's too many people named that.
Okay.
So I've thought about. I think like enough people will call me Johnny
Yeah.
that
like
I could Johnny Anderson, but
I
it's
like
still
Johnny
very
Anderson.
basic. But it's like maybe a little bit more memorable.
What about
Wow.
Johnny Anders?
Johnny Anders?
I had a roommate named Caroline Anders, and she.
He wants to
rocked.
shorten his name, so he still picked another long name. That's pretty cool of you.
That's not that
Johnny?
long.
Well, that's getting rid of a syllable.
I just want to
Yeah.
say, if you go with Johnny, you can never take off the mustache.
Yeah, I think it does fit
Oh.
in.
That's-
It's
No,
like
that's real.
new me.
Well,
Johnny.
you can follow me on at I was Maz on all social media, YouTube, TikTok, Venmo, whatever you want to follow me on.
Venmo.
And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for
Hugs and
watching.
kisses. I don't know. Like, subscribe, smash that like button, subscribe. We'll kill ourselves if you don't.
Yeah, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Actually, just smash.
Just
Whatever
keep-
you want to
yeah.
do, just smash.
Smash.
Even
Smash-
if it's your neighbor, just smash.
Yeah, smash the dislike button.